In Kumu, you create projects. Projects can have one or more maps, and there can be one or more views associated with those maps. The map is actually the set of relationships that define the model. The view is the way that it's decorated, the way it's perceived to be. In the template itself, there are two models. One is the introduction and the other is the blank one, which has nothing in it. And the two views are the default view and the edit view. And I mentioned before that the edit view turns off the popovers and creates something called gives you access to something called a toolbar, and I'll talk more about that in another video. You could essentially create just three things in Kumu. You can create elements, you can create connections, and you can create loops. And you do that with the plus sign here at the bottom. So if you click on it, it says add element, add connection, add loop. I'll do sketch mode in a separate video. The idea is that each one of the elements that you create has a profile panel on the left. What you're looking at the moment is the profile panel for the map itself. If you go to the blank model, its profile panel is empty. When you create entities, you can then have the option to be able to edit certain components of that entity. Each entity has a title, it has a type, a place for you to add a description. You can add a number of tags, and the abstract and image pieces I'll talk about later, and the units, but they're in here for something that I wanted to be able to assign to my models. Now, in the normal mode, all right, this is something called focus. I'll talk about that later. In the normal mode, if I click on this loop, all right, you notice that there's a title. I called it contribute, and I'll explain the legend later. A description, and it's called leverage. I said this is a leverage point in the model. If you mouse over it, you see this description, the title and the description of it, which is called popovers, and it's something that makes it very easy for one to look at someone else's model without having to get neck strain, clicking on things and going to the left to look at them. I mean, it just back and forth is unbelievable, tiring after a while. So the idea is that you create elements, connections, and loops. And you create them starting in the standard mode down here simply by saying add element, add connection, or add loop. And I just wanted to talk about the context itself in this particular video. And in the next video, I'll talk about actually creating the pieces themselves. The idea was to keep each of these videos as short as possible. So I'll see you in the next video shortly.